Have you ever found yourself struggling with something that used to be second nature, like opening a jar, buttoning a shirt, or even getting up from your favorite chair? If so, you're not alone. As we get older, these everyday tasks don't just get harder, they can become downright frustrating. But here's the good news. There's a whole world of adaptive tools designed to help. And not only do they make life easier, they also give you back something priceless, your independence. Think about it. The simple act of reaching a high shelf, holding a toothbrush, or turning a key. These are things we barely gave a second thought to in our younger years. But as our bodies change, our grip weakens, joints stiffen, and sometimes our balance or eyesight just isn't what it used to be. That doesn't mean we're helpless. It just means we need a little support, and that's where these tools come in. Now, before we dive in, let me just say I get it. A lot of people hesitate when they hear the word adaptive. It can sound like something only meant for people with severe limitations. But the truth is, adaptive tools are for anyone who wants to make life a little easier, safer, and more enjoyable. They're not about giving in, they're about getting ahead. And here's something fascinating. Research has shown that when older adults use adaptive aids early on, it can actually slow down functional decline. According to a study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society, seniors who incorporated assistive devices into their daily routines experienced better outcomes in mobility and self-care. The sooner you adapt, the longer you maintain your independence. That's a powerful shift in perspective, isn't it? So in this video, we're going to explore some of the most helpful, life-improving tools out there, from clever kitchen gadgets to supportive bathroom accessories, and even smart tech designed with aging in mind. We'll talk about why these tools matter, how they work, and how you can start using them without feeling like you're giving up control. Because you're not. You're claiming it back. Before we keep going, I'd love your help with something. If you're enjoying this video so far, comment Y below. If not, comment N. It helps me know what's working and what to improve. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Now let's dive deeper. Let's start with something we all use every day, the kitchen. Cooking, eating, and even making a cup of coffee can become tricky when your hands aren't as steady or strong. That's where some simple but genius tools come into play. One of my favorites is the electric jar opener. If you've ever wrestled with a tight lid only to end up asking someone else to open it, or worse, giving up altogether, this gadget is a game changer. It sits on top of the jar, grips it tight, and with a push of a button, it does all the work for you. No pain, no strain. And it's not just about convenience. When your joints are already sore from arthritis or other conditions, tools like these can prevent injury and reduce stress on your body. Another underrated hero? The angled measuring cup. It sounds so simple, but the design allows you to read measurements from above, rather than crouching or tilting it to eye level. If you've ever had to squint and bend to measure a cup of water or flour, you'll appreciate how much easier this makes things, especially if you have limited mobility or poor vision. And what about utensils? Adaptive silverware with thick, rubberized handles makes it easier to grip and control your spoon or fork, especially if your fingers don't bend the way they used to. There's even weighted utensils that can help with tremors. It's not about replacing your independence, it's about preserving it. I know someone who really resisted using adaptive tools for years. Her name is Darlene. She's 74, feisty, and fiercely independent. But arthritis in her hands made cooking a challenge. She was constantly dropping things or asking her daughter to help. Eventually, she gave in and tried a few tools: an electric can opener, an easy grip vegetable peeler, and a hands-free stirring gadget. The transformation was instant. Not only was she back in her kitchen, doing what she loved, but she also felt proud. Not embarrassed. Proud. Because she had taken charge of her health and happiness in her own way. Now let's step into another part of the house where adaptive tools make a huge difference: the bathroom. It's no secret that bathrooms can be one of the most hazardous places, especially with slippery floors and awkward movements. But simple additions like grab bars in the shower, raised toilet seats, or non-slip bath mats can dramatically reduce the risk of falls. A 2020 study from the CDC revealed that over 3 million older adults are treated each year for fall-related injuries, and the bathroom is one of the most common locations. That statistic alone is reason enough to make some changes. But here's the good news. When you install these tools early, before an accident happens, you not only prevent injuries but also build confidence. And confidence, at any age, is key to staying active and independent. Even small things like a long-handled sponge for bathing or a toothpaste dispenser for one-handed use can remove the daily frustrations that chip away at your sense of control. They're not flashy, but they're powerful. And there's a psychological benefit, too. When you're not constantly battling your environment just to get through the day, you free up energy, mental and emotional energy, to focus on what really matters. Time with your grandkids, walks with friends, hobbies you enjoy. That's the true value of these tools. Alright, we've covered a few great kitchen and bathroom solutions, and we're just getting started. There's a whole world of adaptive tools designed to support your mobility, comfort, and peace of mind, especially in areas like dressing, grooming, and moving around your home. Some of them might surprise you. So stick with me, because in the next part, we're going to explore more of these incredible tools, including some smart tech that practically feels like science fiction. And I'll also share the one tool I believe every older adult should consider right now, even if they feel just fine. Let's keep going. Before we begin, I want to make one thing clear. This video is for informational purposes only and is based on publicly available research. Everyone's health is different, so always consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your lifestyle, diet, or exercise routine. Scientific knowledge is always evolving, and what works for one person may not work for another. That said, let's continue where we left off, because if you thought the kitchen and bathroom tools were helpful, wait until you hear what's coming next. Let's talk about something many people don't like to admit becomes difficult: getting dressed. For most of us, it's how we start the day. But when bending down to tie a shoe or reaching behind to zip up a dress becomes a struggle, it can set a frustrating tone for everything that follows. Fortunately, there are some simple solutions that can flip that script. Take the long-handled shoehorn, for example. It might not seem revolutionary, but for someone with limited mobility, hip pain, or balance issues, it can make slipping into shoes an easy, graceful process instead of a daily battle. And then there's elastic shoelaces. These transform regular lace-up shoes into slip-ons, no tying required. I know a gentleman in his 80s who swore he'd never give up his classic leather Oxfords. But after switching to elastic laces, he not only kept wearing them, he stopped needing help every time he wanted to go out. Then there are button hooks and zipper pulls, small tools with big impact. If you have arthritis or limited finger dexterity, just buttoning a shirt can feel like threading a needle with oven mitts. But with a button hook, the job is done in seconds, without the stress or pain. And what's more, these tools help people maintain their appearance and dignity, without feeling like they've had to compromise their personal style. What I really love about adaptive dressing tools is that they preserve the rhythm of your day. You're not stuck waiting for someone to help you get dressed or undressed. That kind of independence may seem small, but emotionally it's massive. According to research from the National Institute on Aging, maintaining control over daily decisions, even small ones like what to wear, contributes significantly to mental well-being and lower rates of depression in older adults. And speaking of well-being, let's talk about one of the most overlooked challenges many people face: managing medications and health routines. It's no secret that as we get older, the number of prescriptions can start to add up. Between remembering dosages, times, and whether or not you already took that little white pill this morning, it can be a source of anxiety. Enter smart pill dispensers. These aren't your average Monday to Sunday plastic trays. The new generation of dispensers not only organize medications but also beep, light up, or even send reminders to your phone or a caregiver's device when it's time to take your meds. Some even lock until the correct time, preventing accidental double doses. I recently heard from a woman named Sharon who takes care of her mother, who's in her late 70s and has early-stage dementia. The smart dispenser changed everything for them. Instead of constant worry or phone calls to check if pills were taken, the app sends Sharon a quiet alert, and her mom feels more in control because she doesn't have to rely on sticky notes or memory alone. It's a small piece of tech with a big emotional payoff. And it's not just about meds. Smart home assistants like Alexa or Google Nest can set voice-activated reminders for everything from appointments to when to drink water. They can control lights, thermostats, and even lock doors with just a word. For people with vision impairments, limited mobility, or cognitive challenges, this kind of voice command support brings the world back within reach. A study published in Gerontology and Geriatric Medicine found that older adults using smart home technologies reported increased feelings of safety and independence. And what's even better, many of these devices are becoming more affordable and easier to set up, even if you're not particularly tech-savvy. But let's take it offline for a moment and talk about mobility inside the home. Walking from one room to another should be simple, right? But if your knees are stiff, your balance is off, or you're dealing with fatigue, even a short walk can feel like a trek. That's where mobility aids come into play. And no, we're not just talking about walkers and wheelchairs. Have you heard of rollators? They're like walkers but with wheels, a seat, and often a small basket. Unlike standard walkers that require lifting and placing, rollators glide, giving you support without slowing you down. And when you need a break, just sit down. That built-in seat has saved more shopping trips, neighborhood strolls, and family outings than you can imagine. Then there are lift chairs. These look like regular recliners, but have a hidden motor that gently tilts and raises the chair to help you stand up or sit down without strain. A friend of mine, Bill, in his late 60s, calls his lift chair the best gift he's ever given his knees. After years of struggling to get out of his living room chair, the lift mechanism gave him back the ability to get up with dignity, and without the pain. And don't forget about reachers or grabber tools. These lightweight gadgets let you pick up items from the floor or high shelves without bending or stretching. If you've ever dropped your keys and had to calculate how painful it might be to pick them up, a grabber tool becomes your new best friend. Each of these tools isn't just about convenience. It's about preventing injuries, saving energy, and most importantly, extending your independence. When you can move around your home safely and comfortably, you naturally do more, stay more active, and feel more engaged. Now, I know some folks hesitate to use these kinds of aids because they worry it makes them look old or dependent. But let me offer this perspective. Using a tool that helps you do more for yourself isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's a choice to stay involved in your life instead of shrinking from it. We've talked about a lot today, from dressing tools to smart tech to mobility aids, and we're still not done. Because there are a few more tools I want to share that are absolute game changers, especially when it comes to staying connected, staying safe, and staying joyful. In the next part, we'll explore adaptive tools that support emotional wellness, combat loneliness, and even help with hobbies and routines you may have thought were behind you. And we'll also talk about some of the common challenges people face when using these tools and how to overcome them with confidence. Let's keep going, there's more to discover. You know, it's one thing to have tools that help with physical tasks, but it's another when emotional and social needs come into play. I want to share with you some adaptive tools that go beyond just getting through the day. They help you stay connected, keep your spirits up, and maintain those meaningful hobbies that bring joy. One of the biggest challenges many people face as they age is loneliness. It's a tough topic, but real. When mobility or hearing starts to decline, reaching out can feel harder than ever. That's where technology again steps in to help bridge the gap. Devices like amplified phones or those with large, easy-to-read buttons make calls less stressful. And if you're on the go or just prefer a screen, tablets designed with simplified interfaces, big icons, voice commands, can keep you in touch with family and friends without the usual tech headaches. I remember an older couple I know, Mike and Janet, who started using video calls when their grandchildren moved across the country. At first, they felt overwhelmed by the devices and settings, but once they found a tablet designed for seniors, with clear, simple apps and one-touch calling, it became a highlight of their week. Their smiles after each chat were proof that adaptive tools don't just make tasks easier, they brighten lives. Speaking of keeping busy, hobbies can be lifesavers. Whether it's gardening, knitting, painting, or reading, these activities keep the mind sharp and the heart light. Adaptive tools like ergonomic gardening gloves that reduce strain, knitting needles with cushioned grips, or audiobooks with adjustable speeds can make these passions accessible even when hands ache or vision dims. A friend of mine, Susan, who loves to paint but struggles with hand tremors, discovered weighted brushes that steady her strokes. It was like regaining a part of herself she feared was lost. It's incredible how the right tool can open doors back to joy and creativity. But let's be honest, adopting new tools isn't always smooth sailing. Some people feel frustrated or embarrassed at first. Others worry about costs or just aren't sure where to start. I want you to know, these feelings are completely normal. Transition takes time, and it's okay to ask for help or try things out gradually. One tip I often share is to pick 1 or 2 tools that seem most useful and focus on mastering those first. Small wins build confidence. And remember, many communities offer resources like occupational therapy consultations, senior centers with demo days, or local charities that lend adaptive equipment for trial. Science backs this approach. Studies show that when older adults use adaptive tools that suit their lifestyle and preferences, they experience less frustration and maintain independence longer. It's about fitting the tools to you, not the other way around. And here's a little secret. Sometimes the best tool isn't a gadget at all. It's mindset. Embracing these aids with curiosity, patience, and a sense of humor can transform your experience. When you see them as empowering rather than limiting, that shift alone boosts your emotional well-being. Now, before we move into our final part, I want to circle back to motivation. Aging gracefully isn't just about avoiding difficulties. It's about celebrating resilience, staying curious, and finding joy in every day. Adaptive tools are part of that journey, giving you the freedom to live your life fully and on your own terms. Coming up next, we'll wrap things up by revisiting the most powerful takeaways, sharing some inspiring final thoughts, and offering practical steps you can start today to make your daily routines easier and more enjoyable. So stick around, there's a great finish ahead. As we come to the close of our journey exploring adaptive tools to make daily tasks easier, I want to take a moment to reflect on everything we've talked about and how it all ties together. Because these tools aren't just gadgets or conveniences, they're keys to living life with more independence, joy, and confidence. Remember how we started, thinking about those small moments in your day, putting on shoes, opening jars, or remembering to take medications, that can sometimes turn into frustrating hurdles. What we've seen is that there are thoughtful, smart solutions out there designed with you in mind, made to support your body, your lifestyle, and your spirit. It's about more than just ease. It's about reclaiming control. Whether it's a long-handled shoehorn helping you slip into your favorite shoes without strain, or a smart pill dispenser giving you peace of mind that you're managing your health correctly, these tools help preserve your dignity and independence. That's priceless. We also talked about how staying socially connected and emotionally healthy is just as important. Using amplified phones, user-friendly tablets for video calls, or adaptive hobby tools aren't just about functionality. They're about staying engaged with what makes life meaningful. That joy, that connection, fuels your well-being in ways that ripple across every part of your day. What truly stood out is that adaptive tools empower you not by taking over, but by giving you options. Options to live life on your terms, to choose ease over struggle, and to embrace aging as a chapter full of possibility, not limitation. If you're wondering where to start, here's the good news. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Begin with 1 or 2 tools that feel most relevant to your current needs. Try them out. Notice how they change your experience, your mood, your energy. Celebrate those wins. Small steps like these create momentum that can make a big difference. And science supports this approach. Research published in the Journal of Aging and Health shows that using adaptive tools tailored to individual needs significantly improves quality of life and reduces feelings of helplessness or frustration. That's powerful because it means these small changes aren't just about convenience. They're about real, measurable health benefits. Before we wrap up, here's a thought to carry with you. Aging isn't a decline, it's a transformation. And you have more strength, creativity, and resilience than you may realize. Adaptive tools are just one way to honor that strength, helping you navigate daily life with more grace and ease. We'd really love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions for future topics or questions you want answered, write to us in the comments below. We're here to help, and your input could inspire our next video. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on more practical tips for healthy aging. Here's to living your best life at any age.